Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
Over to you, please, for introduce yourselves
Yes.
and a brief summary of your position. Thank you very much.
Okay. The group, the name of our group is called the Last But Not Least. Okay. And our group has 4 students and
What?
your name,
You can call me Xiang.
Shang,
Yeah.
Matt, and I'm Wei Nan. And the title, as you can see, the title of the post presentation is the aims of education, and you can see there are 4 subtitles in this post, which is introduction, the mind map, which is the most important parts of the poster, and the conclusion and the reference. And the reason why we developed this poster is because there have been lots of arguments and controversies over the aims of education, and this debate seems never ends. And we divide 6 themes in the poster, which is 6 themes of the aims of education, which is knowledge, ethics, critical thinking, freedom of individual well-being, and works and career. Okay, and the position of our group is okay. The position in our group is it is not easy to analyze or prioritize the significance of each themes, but it is quite fair to, or quite safe to say that the aims of education is developed based on the multidisciplinary. Sorry, it's about multidisciplinarity, as we heard from yesterday's lecture. It's kind of like interdisciplinarity. It's quite, I think it's quite similar, but there must be some difference between it. And yes, this is our that stance and position. Yeah. So the stance is the aims of education is developed on interdisciplinarity. Yes, this is our stance. And
Okay.
do you guys have any?
That's why, question.
Yes, yes, please.
That's why it means you have here 16 aims of education, yeah?
Yes.
Title will be the aims of education, not just one aim of education, yeah?
Yeah, because we try to figure out or try to identify which one is the most important
And
one.
which one?
Everyone.
Everyone is.
Yeah, yes, as I mentioned before.
Have you found out your answer
Yeah, to
for
be
this
hon-
question?
To be honest, no. It's because every knowledge, ethics,
It's
or as you
important.
mentioned, the values, morals, or work and money, careers, all of them is quite important for us.
Yeah.
But now, as we let's how to say, because from yesterday's lecture we can get some ideas, new idea that it is quite important that it's not the subject define who you are, but the problems, the object of your the object of yourself, your aim, your purpose define who you are, right? So education, I think, in my opinion, is kind of like tools, but the problem, the object, is the main reason that push you to use this tool and to develop your map. What I mean by map is interdisciplinarity. Yeah. So education provide you with a tool, and then you use this tool to map the map to help you adjust your object, your aim,
Objective.
object, right?
Objective.
Objective. So, yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't give you a very detailed, exact answer for these aims.
I mean, have you changed your conclusion before the lecture, after the lecture, or it's your conclusion before
Before.
listening this lecture?
Before.
Before.
Yeah. students. Basically, yeah. Is there any?
So, you mean that education can help us to find what we are really interested in?
I. It's a
No.
good part.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you mean the, do you mean that education can make us find what we are really interested in?
It may be because the reason why we in a school or the reason why we go to school, as you guys mentioned, it's not only for work, not only for paper, or not only for interest, if you like, but it does provide you a good environment because we stay together, we discuss, and we have a good tutor, have good teacher to teach you, as you mentioned, how to think, to be autonomous, to be something like that, and then maybe it really can help you to think what is your interest point, and help you to think who you are going to be. So it's maybe, but I'm not sure. Maybe it can help you, but maybe not, because not everyone who go to school can be well-being or be well-being. Yeah.
For
Yeah, for well-being, because
be in his elements, yeah.
yeah, because sometimes most of I think most students is not intelligent as you guys, because some of them find the exam is so hard for me, the text is so difficult to read, I can't stand all of these things, I want to quit the school. So it's quite depends on yourself. It depends how you think. Yeah. So but yes, I think in these in this big environment, I think in this society, we arguably, I think we had no choice. We had no choice, so we have to go to school. Yeah, we have to go to school. It's kind of like, what's the word called? This kind of like paradigm. It's kind of as you have to attend kindergarten and elementary school and secondary school and high school, right? It's kind of so I think basically. But as I mentioned, it's provide you with a good environment to define who you are, to help you find a way to be successful, or to be succeed, if you like.
What about other people who didn't go to school? For example, Thomas Edison. About your Apple,
Yes.
Steve Jobs, for example, who thinks that it's just waste investment, and the things that
Yes,
schools,
I see what you mean.
universities
Yes,
don't meant.
Yes, that's true.
I think education is not only happen in school. You can educate it by yourself, such as you read a lot of books about your professional knowledge. Yeah, I think it's also a kind of way of education. Yeah, such as Steve Jobs. I believe Steve Jobs must do a lot of research before he
Quit school.
invest something and invent something.
And do you think that creativity is important?
Yes, creativity is important, and also education.
Who will teach us creativity?
Creativity. Good question.
In schools or
Everywhere.
universities? Everywhere.
Yeah, maybe a friend. Yeah.
Creativity. You mean?
I mean, being creative is one of the aim of education, yeah?
Yes,
one of
you
the
can
aims.
say that.
Okay.
Because because we last time we have video lecture. Do you still remember?
Yeah.
It's given from given by Ken Robinson,
Ken
which is a very
Changing
famous how to say academic
Cyril Robinson.
Speaker.
speaker,
Yeah.
speaker, and he had mentioned that creativity is very important and schools cues creativity, and it makes sense. It makes sense because in our school we have hierarchy of subjects, you know, and he mentioned students should, how to say, he think the arts should be equal to what? Mathematics, science, or something like that. So maybe, yeah.
Thanks.
It is really a, how to say, big business. Really big business. There are lots of controversy you can argue. So, but I think it's quite interesting for all of us to get some gist, to get some idea from all of this how to say, big guys. Yeah, maybe it can make us more intellectual.
Thanks for the to your conclusion is mentioning this multidisciplinary
Yes.
ideas. So, and you said open to new ways of thinking. How do you develop that exactly? Could you repeat that? How would you develop that? Looking from primary school upwards, how do you promote that in a multidisciplinary ideas?
Okay. Okay, the reason why I put multidisciplinary ideas here is because yes, when we go to kindergarten, elementary school, we acquire some, maybe you can say, if you like, isolated knowledge, isolated knowledge, math, English, or science, history. At that time, you may think all of these subjects are separated, but as you, how to say, you go to middle school, go to high school, then you begin to think, oh, there might be some correlation between them, some relation between them, and the problem now, as we get from yesterday's lecture, there are some kind of problem like climate change. There are no degrees for this kind of issue, right? There are no degrees, there are no programs or the MSc climate change, solution of climate change, no. So what I mean multidisciplinary idea here is you use this kind of like ideas from different subjects, from these different aspects of education, and then help you to tackle your issue, your tasks. So that is what I mean by these words.
What about other your groupmates' opinion? Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I agree with him. Because we do this, and we try to argue each thing which is most significant, and the conclusion is hard to choose which one.
About how to develop the multidisciplinary, I think it often happens in university, you know what I mean, such as some subjects, so the BAS is combined arts and science. But when we're in middle school or primary school, I think every subject is separate.
Yes.
But I think the first thing we should learn is a basic information and basic knowledge about different subjects, and then we have the knowledge to combine it and to mix it, and to at the end we can solve the crisis and the difficult problems. Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Thanks, Simon.